Did you know in Portsmouth, there's a house where people say a woman still stands by the window, not moving, not speaking, just watching the street like she's waiting for someone who never came back. Let's find out if we can see her today. Hi, and welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, please subscribe and like the video. It helps a lot. Now let me tell you how I got to Portsmouth from Manhattan under $100. I booked my ticket 2 weeks before my travel date directly from the Greyhound website. It cost me $89. I decided to go on a day trip, so I took the bus at 11:59 p.m. and we reached Portsmouth at around 6:20 a.m. I checked the weather many times before leaving, and it said no rain. But a few days before my trip, it suddenly changed and said rain at 11 p.m., so I was prepared. But guess what? It started raining before we even reached there, and it rained on and off the entire day. I was honestly annoyed at first. Then I told myself, look at the bright side. You are here. When I arrived, the city had just been washed. The streets were clean, almost glowing. The air felt different too, fresher, softer. Portsmouth has that kind of quiet beauty where even the buildings feel calm. I love brick streets, and this place is full of them. Small houses, wooden details, and little gardens tucked behind fences. It feels like a town that hasn't lost its personality. And one thing I noticed immediately, people are very friendly here. Like genuinely. Everyone says hi, smiles, asks how you are. It makes you slow down and think how beautiful, simple human connection really is. Now keep in mind, nothing really opens before 9 a.m. Cafes start waking up around 9, but most shops in downtown areas open closer to 10. So if you come early like I did, the city is just quiet and half asleep. And honestly, that's when you notice things you normally wouldn't. The sound of footsteps on brick roads, the smell of coffee slowly coming from cafes, and the harbor just sitting still like it's holding its breath. The gift shops here are also very different from other places I've been. More local, more handmade, less commercial. You can tell this town values its identity. If you decide to come here, don't come for just a day trip like me. Come for a couple of days so you can really enjoy the beauty of the city, walk slowly, and eat good food without rushing. Also, keep in mind that hotels in downtown Portsmouth are quite expensive, so you'll need to do your homework before booking. There are public transportation options, and it costs around $1.50 per ride. The only thing is, buses don't run very frequently, sometimes every hour, so you have to plan carefully or you'll end up waiting. And make sure to keep exact change with you because they don't give change, and most don't take credit cards. I think the best time to visit Portsmouth is in June. And about that house I mentioned at the beginning, I walked through the streets trying to find it, but what I realized is this. Portsmouth isn't a city that gives you answers quickly. It makes you slow down, look around, and notice everything first. After I started walking more through downtown, I realized Portsmouth isn't a place you rush through. It's a place you slowly understand while you're inside it. Even the silence here feels structured. It's not empty silence, it's morning silence. The kind where the whole town is quietly preparing itself for the day ahead. You see it in small details, like a bakery owner arranging things behind glass or someone wiping down tables before opening. I stopped for a moment near the waterfront just to take everything in. The water was calm, but not still. It had this slow movement like it was breathing gently against the shore. Seagulls were flying low, and every sound felt clearer because there wasn't much noise around to compete with it. One thing I didn't expect was how walkable everything is. You don't really need transport in the downtown area. You can just walk from one side to the other in minutes, but every street feels slightly different. One street feels more historic, another feels more residential, and then suddenly you're near the water again. I also noticed how clean everything was. Even after the rain, there wasn't any chaos. No puddles of trash, no loud traffic, no rush. It felt like the city resets itself overnight and starts fresh every morning. As I kept walking, I thought about how different this feels compared to Manhattan. In New York, everything is fast, loud, and always moving. But here, even movement feels intentional. People aren't rushing. They're just going about their day at their own pace. I stopped at a small corner where a cafe was just starting to open. The smell of fresh coffee was coming out slowly, mixing with the cold morning air. There were maybe 2 or 3 people sitting inside already, quietly talking, or just scrolling on their phones. It felt peaceful in a very normal way, not staged, not touristy, just everyday life. And that's when I understood something about Portsmouth. It's not a city that tries to impress you loudly. It's a city that shows you small details and expects you to notice them. The brick streets, the old-style buildings, the harbor, the quiet mornings. It all works together without trying too hard. Even the people reflect that energy. Nobody feels in a rush, but everything still functions properly. It's calm, but not inactive. I also tried to find that house I mentioned earlier, the one with the story about the woman in the window. I didn't really expect to find anything, but I walked around some of the older streets just to see. What I found instead was that there are many houses here that look similar in age and style. Some are well kept, some have ivy growing on them, and some just sit quietly like they've been there for centuries. And when you're walking alone through those streets, your mind naturally starts to imagine stories behind them. But in reality, nothing felt scary or supernatural. It just felt historic. Like every building has seen different versions of time pass by. By the time I looked at my watch, a few more shops were opening, and the city was slowly shifting from early morning quiet into a normal day. You could feel the change happening without noticing exactly when it started. And that's what stayed with me most after this trip. Not the idea of ghosts or stories, but the feeling of how different a place can feel depending on the time you see it. Portsmouth at night, early morning, and midday. It's probably the same city, but it doesn't feel the same at all. So if you ever come here, don't just come to check places off a list. Come early. Walk slowly. Let the city show itself to you without rushing it. Because sometimes the real experience of a place isn't what you see, it's how it makes you slow down without even realizing it.